Upon reaching out, she was utterly shocked at what she saw. The sight. Amar has buried the child in the ground. The child is lying unconscious. Blood is dripping on from his head. She asked Amar. She just shaked him and asked Amar, "What did you do to the child?" And he says ever so calmly, "Mom, I killed him." I'm your host Nehal Gaikwad, and today we are deep diving into this incredibly unsettling case of Amarjit Sada, an 8-year-old serial killer of India. This case has just left the investigators and the world baffled. Let's get into it. So, just as a normal afternoon rolled, Amarjit's friends were talking to him, inviting him to play with them. "Why don't you come and play with us?" Shankar, one of his neighborhood boys, spoke. "No, I don't want to," Amarjit spoke softly. "Why don't you play with us? Are we not your friends? Let's go play in the pond." His friends asked, concerned, as he never plays with them. Just then, Amarjit let a loud scream. He said, shouting, "No!" He was so angry. You could hear the anger in his voice. They scared the boys and they ran away from there. They have never seen Amarjit this angry in their life. Soon his parents also noticed. He doesn't talk anymore. He just sits in a place quietly, staring at nothing. Sometimes nothing but a wall. Amarjit was just 7 years old when his aunt Meena came to visit him. "I have a favor to ask you, sister," Meena asked. "What is it, Parul?" Amarjit's mom asked again. "My husband and I am going to another city for work. Can you please take care of my 6 months old? It would be hard to handle him around while we are working whole day." So it speculated. Meena asked Parul to babysit her 6 months old son. Because they couldn't be able to look after them, they had found some job in Patna. Parul told her about her own condition, how her husband is just a labor worker and they themselves are struggling to make the ends meet. Hence, Meena offered her part of her own monthly income that she would send once she get her first monthly income. Hence, eventually, Parul had no choice but to accept her 6 months old nephew and take care of her in Meena's behalf. So one day, Parul left the house, leaving 8 years old Amar to babysit his 6 months old baby cousin, and went on to do her daily chores, running around the town, buying groceries, and while being heavily pregnant. It was nothing out of the blue. As in India, older siblings often have the responsibility to take care and look after the younger siblings when both the parents are out for the work. After a long day, Parul comes home from doing all the work, puts down her groceries, and goes to check up on the boys. Upon just looking around, asks Amar, "Amar, where is the baby?" Amar is silent. There is this playful smirk on his face, which is creepy, but he is just smiling. Upon asking him again and again, "Where is the baby?" she's panicking from inside. It's not her baby. It was her responsibility to look after the baby. It's her sister's son. Upon asking again and again, Amar led her to some place back of his house in some paddy field. While he's guiding her, she's just thinking, okay, this is some sick joke Amar is pulling. Finally, they reach a spot and Amar just points his tiny little hand at a place on the paddy field. So she starts digging because something is suspicious here. Upon reaching out, she was utterly shocked at what she saw. The sight. Amar has buried the child in the ground. The child is lying unconscious. Blood is dripping on from his head. She asked Amar. She just shaked him and asked Amar, "What did you do to the child?" And he says ever so calmly, "Mom, I killed him." Even when his father came home after a long day, afterwards, he proudly announces, "I smashed his head under a brick." His father Balram slapped his ass and beat him till he's crying and whatnot. They didn't know what to do now, but they wanted to get to the bottom of this. Why did Amar kill him? Why did Amar kill him? Amar just started revealing the story when both the parents went to work, and what happened. At first, he was just staring at the baby blankly, no emotion. He started pinching the cheeks of the baby in adoration, like just when you find a baby cute or something. Suddenly, he started getting aggressive, and the baby started to show the signs of irritation. Something came over him. He pulled his hand back and slapped the baby as hard as he could. He was enjoying this sight. He was smiling, enjoying this. He reached out to the throat of the baby, choked him, washed him continuously while he strangled him to death. As if that was not enough, he took the child back of his house, saw his unconscious body. He was not responsive. He didn't like that the baby was not responsive. He took a brick and smashed his head to make sure the baby is dead. Blood started dripping out. All the goo from his brain, the baby's brain, started coming out. Then he just digged a small grave, buried the child. Balram, Amar's father, struggled to believe what his child has become, a monster. He started beating his child, supposedly to teach him a lesson. This incident was not informed to the mother, Meena. After some time, when Meena returned to the village to see her baby, then the parents, Amar's parent, told her not to make a police complaint and just let it slide. It was just an accident. Amar just was playing, and it was just an accident. He doesn't know the importance of life and death. He doesn't understand what's right and what's wrong. He's just a young boy. It is speculated Meena just was hearing this in sheer horror, crying, bawling her head out. And when she saw from the door frame, Amar was peeping through the door frame, smiling. He has no remorse. As gruesome as it sounds, they tried to forget this, move on with life, and hoped Amarjit will never do this again. This is the story of the most notorious and youngest serial killer in the history. To understand this case better, we must travel back in the time, 2007, in Musahar district. Amarjit's poor parents were so happy when they came to know they are blessed with a son. They thought he would live a very happy life, spreading joy and love in other people's lives. Instead, he had an opposite effect. How would have they known he would grow up to extinguish the light from people's lives? I want new toys, he once asked his mother. His mother hugged him and told him, "Beta, we are poor. We can't afford new toys." Amarjit pushed his mother back and sulked in the corner. He was a short-tempered guy, very temperamental. But as he was her only child, his mother doted him. She wanted to protect him from all the evil in the world. Every morning, she used to put a big fat dot of kajal inside of his forehead and say, "Kisi ki nazar na lage tujhe." She wanted to protect him, and she brought an amulet from the temple of Hanuman. Little did she know, people would need amulets to protect themselves from her son itself. Few months have passed now. Amar's parents forgot everything. They went on living a normal life, putting everything in the past, thinking it was an accident. An year more later, Parul gave birth to a girl child. The family had a new member. Amarjit struggled to understand the relationship between his sister and him. He used to just smile and stare at her blankly when she was just lying in her crib. As she became older, she used to smile back at him. It all seemed normal. The family seemed normal. Eventually, the lack of connection with his sister led him committing a second murder. One afternoon, as they have worked the whole half day, Amar's family went on to take a nap. The baby was sleeping in a crib. Amar was playing with the toys. At this point, 8 months have passed. We don't know what led him to do this. But halfway asleep, Amar's mom realized she has made a horrible mistake, leaving her 8 years old with the newborn. She woke up, ran to where the baby is sleeping, and saw the evil grin on the face of her son. She screamed her heart out when she saw the lifeless body of her newborn child. When his family thrashed him and asked him why he did it, he said ever so calmly, just like that, just because he wanted to. He had no further explanation. He killed her because he wanted to. His heart told so. His mom started sobbing out loud, and upon hearing this, the neighbors started to surround. As they are hearing so much loud noises and mess, they came and saw everything. They saw Amar is crying in the corner because his father beat him, and the mother is crying, and there is a lifeless body in the crib. They didn't need any explanation. They knew what happened the last time. They know Amar killed this child. There was no doubts. Even after the neighbors pleading to the Amar's family to take Amar to the police station, they didn't listen one. They rejected their pleas and asked them to keep it a secret. This is a family matter. Do not let this get out of this house or the society. Amarjit's father was determined to punish him himself rather than the police by beating the shit out of him till he is half dead. At one point, Amar got so angry and shouted, "What wrong have I did by killing her?" Like it was some normal question. So what, I ate the ice cream before the lunch. He felt no remorse. He doesn't know what he has done. In the contrary, he enjoyed what he did. Their mentality in all this panic was still, how could they report this? His image, he's a boy. His image would get dirty. This can ruin his life. Maybe we could just punish him so badly, he would never do this again. At this rate, the neighborhood was terrified of this boy. They wouldn't let their own children even near him. Rightfully so. Instead, Amarjit's family would go door to door in the neighborhood, asking them, pleading them to not to let the word get out. They didn't want Amar's image to get dirty, as he has to grow up and grow a family of his own. Khushbu's mom, Chunchun Devi, was not from this neighborhood. She didn't even know who Amar is. She did have an 8-month-old daughter, Khushbu. She needed to drop her baby somewhere to keep her safe, as she had to do some chores, knowing it would be difficult to carry her baby around and do the chores at the same time. So she chose this primary school. She dropped the baby in the primary school and left the people there to take care of her. She just had to do few things. She would be back in no time to take the baby back. Again, this is not something new. People do this all the time, as there are not many daycare or facilities, and people have to work while the baby needed to be safe. But not in this case. By the time Khushbu's mom was back to take her, Khushbu was gone. She was nowhere to be found, disappeared. There was not even screams of her to be heard by any workers of the primary school to notice her absence. Among all the toddlers running around, how could anyone just notice that? Everybody was panicking, freaking out. When you think that a child is missing, you think a middle-aged man, somewhere like that, just came in and kidnapped one. But nobody saw a man. Even though nobody noticed her, there were people around, and they could have easily noticed a man which is suspicious in this place. So the police got involved. The locals got involved. Maybe there was a creepy man, or maybe the primary school accidentally did something and is trying to cover up. There were many speculations and mysteries. As this news spread, which was very fast by the way, Amar's neighborhood came to know, and there were suspicions. One of Amar's aunt, not Meena, one of the other aunt of Amar who knows about Amar's history, took her suspicion to Khushbu's mother, and Khushbu's mother is not going to sit still. Upon hearing that, all the people who has known about Amar formed an angry mob and charged towards Amar's house. They demanded answers from the Sada family. Even then, the parents tried to reason with the mob and tried to hide the facts about Amar and his past. But the crowd has had enough. They wouldn't budge. They wanted answers, and they wanted them now. At last, when Amar was brought in front of the crowd, they asked him, and Amar told smilingly, "Yeah, I killed her. So what?" And then he proceeded to guide them where he has buried her now. It was a place at the edge of the town in a rocky area, and the place where he buried her looked like some loose mud has spread out. Eventually, the villagers took him to the local police station and handed him over. Finally, Amarjit was arrested in May 30th, 2007. When he was asked by the police, did you kill him? He answered blatantly, yes. And upon why he was so frank, he answered, his parents has taught him that lying is bad. Now yes, we do see him confess to everything and anything, and everything was truth. The shocking part is, he thinks lying is a sin and murder is not. When the police took him for questioning, he used to smile, just smile so creepily. He once asked for a biscuit. He conditioned the police, I will tell you whatever you want, first give me a biscuit. Pretty plenty psychopaths do this. They want to have the sense of power. They ask for something and they proceed to tell everything in detail what they did and why they did. Psychiatrists evaluated on Amarjit and they found out he suffered from conduct disorder. They concluded that due to severe chemical imbalance in his brain, he sought pleasure from inflicting pain on others. He also had no sense of what is right and what is wrong. The police reasoned that he targeted babies younger than him because they retaliated ever so much for giving him pleasure and not as much powerful to reject him. The brutality committed by this 8-year-old charged headlines nationwide and shocked the world. Amarjit Sada was charged with murder and detained at a children's home till he turned 18. Side note, he was charged with the murder of Khushbu and not his cousin or nor his sister because his own family, chose to not press charges against him and hence he got no punishment for that. He spent 3 years in prison and then in the children's home, which is like a juvenile detention center. It's kind of messed up, but yeah, as per Indian law, a minor cannot be under arrest in jail for more than 3 years. And if he's arrested as a minor, he will serve till he is an adult, till he's 18. As per some reports, Amarjit has now turned 26 or more and changed his name to Samarjit and is now freely roaming the streets of India. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. What do you think about it? Have you heard this story before? Should Amarjit have gotten more sentence? Please let me know in the comments. And I'll bring more stories like this. Keep watching. And to help me, please do the algorithm stuff like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.